Hi folks, it's Tim aka TurboBB. I've been working on the TN11S review, and as I got to the part about intercompatibility with the TN11 and TN10, which by the way are discontinued, just found out through ThruNite's website, but it got a bit overwhelming and tons of pictures and whatnot, so I figured rather than dumping all that into review, it would be a lot easier to cover that in a video review. So it may be worthwhile to recap how the circuitry in the TN11 works. Is that there are two modes, a primary with the head tightened and then a secondary, which is a programmable mode with the head loosened. Alright, to recap that, head tightened, primary maximum output, and the head loosened, which is a pre-program mode. Right. How it is able to achieve this is, if you're familiar with flashlights and anodizing, you will know that when the threads are anodized, you basically break the circuitry, right? So you're in essence locking out the light and shutting it off. However, though, the TN11 does feature two negative paths. So maybe I actually turn on my headlamp here. Unfortunately, it's a cool white, so the auto white balance will be a little bit off. And let me give the autofocus some time to catch up. Hopefully. Come on, fella. You can do it. Okay, looks like he's not cooperating. Okay, there we go. Now, as I had mentioned, there's two negative paths, right? The first one is achieved through the, although it may probably be a little hard to see due to the coloring, but the lack of anodization on the threads here, right? So even with the second negative path is through this ring right here, right? So when you have the head tightened, the tube is actually making contact with both the threads and this ring. So it indicates to the circuitry that, hey look, the head is tightened, I'll go into maximum output. Now with the head loosened, it disengages from this ring, and then it only makes contact through the threads here, and that's how the circuitry realizes, okay, fine, I don't receive voltage here, so I'll enter the secondary mode, which is the pre-program mode. Now the TN10 is basically identical. Again, hopefully wait for the autofocus to catch up, in that the threads are not anodized, and it has that ring as well. So again, two negative paths. Right? However, the TN11S is slightly different in that while the threads are not anodized, it doesn't actually feature that ring, although you do see, I'm assuming this is brass, on the circuitry here. It does absolutely nothing if you have the head tightened or loosened. So to clarify, the TN11S can function with the head loosened, but it does not change the output or the modes at all. All of the output and modes are controlled solely through the tail switch. So I'm going to get the head screwed on here. Cut out the headlamp. Okay. So again, the TN11S controls its output solely through the tailcap switch, right? I'll turn on the light. Currently it's on low mode, medium, high, strobe. Okay, kick it back into low mode. Actually, let me get into output level that can be read. Okay, so even if I loosen the head, light will still function, but again, does not change the mode. It does seem like it actually did drop the output a little bit, which I'm assuming because of the loss of the additional path, so perhaps a bit more resistance around going through the non-anodized threads. Okay, actually that was wrong. There is no impact. Right. The reason why I actually have the PVC LMD up is because I've noticed that as mentioned in my forthcoming review, you'll see pictures of the tailcap internals. There actually are additional circuitry built into the tailcap switch and resistors. So this actually comes on around, like, I think 890s. If I'm not mistaken, the TN11 does not have such restriction in its tailcap. I did see, I believe, one resistor, but this light can come on in the 900 plus range. So hold on, let me get the TN11S head on the TN11 body and tailcap. Yeah, so as you can see, it was almost near 1,000, and these batteries aren't even freshly charged. But of course, it drops rapidly. Now, before I had this video recorded, I did calibrate it again with the Xeno G10 V2 at 465 versus 480 on high. So again, while the TN11S head will work with TN11 body and tailcap switch, you can't switch the output because all of that was governed through the tailcap switch, right? So even if I turn it on and off, it does not change the output mode whatsoever. Likewise, head loosened, nada. Right? Now the TN11's head on the TN11S circuitry, things get a little bit funky. So there we go. We have the TN11's head on the TN11S body and tailcap. Actually, the body doesn't even matter because all it is just a tube. It's just a path for the negative. So that said, let me go ahead and turn this on. So you can see enter strobe immediately. Variable levels of strobe, as a matter of fact. So it's got into this pseudo firefly mode, which is actually a bit brighter than the TN11's true firefly mode. Then as you change the levels, this is with the head tightened right now, it goes from that firefly mode to strobe, higher strobe, maximum strobe. So I guess, I don't know, if that's something you need, hey, this would be the perfect setup for you. Now with the head loosened, looks like it's still in that same weird firefly mode, but let's see what happens when you hit the tailcap switch. Okay, increases output, and does some weird reset or something. But it's barely functional. I mean, as you can see, that's registering as 20-something lumens. So I guess to sum it up, bottom line is that unfortunately they aren't fully compatible. The TN11 does require its own tailcap switch in order for it to function fully properly. Likewise, TN11S requires its tailcap switch to be able to change modes. I mean, again, it is all the parts are intercompatible, including the extension tubes. Right, so this is the TN11S extension tube on the TN11 body. But again, as far as having it intercompatible, fully functional, unfortunately that's a no. Alright, so hopefully you found that helpful, and sorry for the additional babbling. Thanks again for watching.